Some of the things that stick out in my mind, I'll go through a few of them. Let's start with the Travis Scott concert. That was very interesting to me. Seemed to be a lot of strange occult aspects going on around that. The causes of death were very strange and ominous. Did you do any kind of decoding on that one?
Oh yeah, there's a lot to it. So we're talking about 56. That happened on remember the 5th of November, which is the day leaving 56 days left in the year, associated with Guy Fawkes, the Jesuit, who tried to blow up British Parliament on that day in 1605. Of course, one of the most famous hip hop albums ever to come out on that date was Tupac on the Cross, the Machiavelli album. He died at age 25. That concert tragedy was 25 years to the day. And again, Society of Jesus equals 56. Tupac on the Cross like Jesus on the Machiavelli album. And Travis Scott's stage was a huge cross. And in Gematria, if you write out, what was it called? Astro World. Yeah, Astro World.
Yeah.
Astro World has Gematria of 170, like the word sacrifice. From the day that album came out to the concert was 170 weeks later on the nose. So that album released exactly 170 weeks before the tragedy. And what was something that stood out to me is initially what they reported is that a lot of people felt that they were pricked with something and it caused them to collapse. And what stood out to me is just 3 days before that, on November 2nd, which was the anniversary of Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, who went to Holy Cross, becoming the head of NIH. By the way, Anthony Fauci equals 56. But on that day, November 2nd, that was the day they said at the CDC in a meeting that lasted from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., they approved the vaccine for 11 to 5-year-olds. And they said by the end of the week, which was Friday, 11/5, everybody should be able to get their child vaccinated nationwide. So I thought that was interesting in light of them reporting that so many young people were at the concert and they felt like they got pricked before they collapsed. So I thought, is this arbitrary or is, this is just another riddle here right in front of our face? And then of course, just days later, the rapper Young Dolph was shot in Memphis. And what's interesting is on the day of the concert tragedy, he posted to his Instagram a highlight reel between Houston and Memphis in college basketball. And of course, the tragedy happened in Houston. He's in Memphis, not far away. But that Young Dolph, he posted earlier in the year on July 20th, he posted a picture of himself doing the Illuminati triangle around his eye. And he wrote something along the lines of Paper Route Illuminati. His record label is Paper Route Empire, which equals 201. But he wrote Paper Route Illuminati, money, family, sacrifices. To make money, you got to make sacrifices, something like that. He posted that on the 201st day of the year, the same day Jeff Bezos blasted off in his penis rocket. And then what's funny is he's a black guy with the name Adolf. And I got to imagine there's not a lot of black guys that have been named Adolf in the post-World War II era.
Right.
But he died in history, or he died this year, 201 days after the anniversary of Adolf Hitler's death. And by the way, Adolf Hitler died at age 56, and Adolf Hitler equals 56. And a lot of people think he was protected by the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, which I would say is entirely possible. And keep in mind, he died in April, the only month that equals 56. And another president who was blamed for a war, Lincoln, died in a theater at age 56. And we call him Honest Abe, even though he pretty much turned America into a total fascist state. But anyway, he died 201 days after the anniversary of Adolf Hitler. And if you look up the plot to assassinate Hitler in history that supposedly failed, that was July 20th, the 201st day of the year, which means his post was 201 days, or on the anniversary of the Adolf Hitler assassination, plus Travis Scott, who had just had the tragedy. His birthday is April 30th, which is Adolf Hitler's death anniversary, which is 201 days before Young Dolph died. And then the other thing is Young Dolph, his first album was called King of Memphis. And for the people out there, I just want to get on the record straight. I don't listen to Young Dolph's music. I think this music's trash, but I did do my research. I'd be embarrassed if you thought I listened to Young Dolph. But anyway, the point is, His first album was called King of Memphis. And of course, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in Memphis in 68. Now, from the release of that album to his death, Young Dolph's was 68 months later. And something we've been clued into is this year, the March Madness Tournament championship will be on the anniversary of the MLK killing. And Memphis is a top-ranked team, and this is their 68th basketball season. And in Gematria, basketball equals 68. So does Catholicism, so does mathematics. And keep in mind, the first ever March Madness was won by the Catholic School of Villanova over the Jesuit program, Georgetown. But so anyway, we were already clued into this Memphis 68 thing. Then Young Dolph dies right at the beginning of college basketball season. And then on the day of the Houston tragedy, the one thing that he had uploaded was a highlight reel of an old game between Memphis and Houston. So again, all of these things are Jesuit ritual. It goes to show who controls these entertainers. And they're putting their clues out on their social media for what the next move is, what the next domino is to fall, if you will.